Tonight on a special edition of Let It Rip.
That would mean that 80% of the people don't dig you, and I'm back down to 50.
Of all the people on the stage, he performs the worst against Hillary Clinton.
Wrong. I beat Hillary Clinton. I beat Hillary Clinton in many polls.
The remaining Republican candidates for president.
I'm back down to 50.
Of all the people on the stage, he performs the worst against Hillary Clinton.
Wrong. I beat Hillary Clinton. I beat Hillary Clinton in many polls.
The remaining Republican candidates for president make it to Motown for a primetime debate. And it doesn't take long for things to get nasty.
You're the liar. You're the lying guy up here. You're the one. You're the one. You're the one. Now let me just tell you. Let me just say. Excuse me. I've given my answer, Lion Ted. I've given my answer.
Did Michigan voters get any real information from these would-be leaders of the free world? Or is this just another master class in insult comedy?
Look at those hands. Are they small hands? And he referred to my hands. If they're small, something else must be small. I guarantee you there's no problem. I guarantee it.
Incredible. Welcome to this special one-hour post-debate edition of Let It Rip. On the panel tonight, he's bold, he's brash, and always ready to fight. Whether it's in the courtroom or in politics, attorney and lifelong Democrat Jeffrey Fieger is here. And so is lifelong Republican Andrew Rocky Wichkowski, soldier, businessman, conservative, who did some time in the big house a few years ago. That is the State House in Lansing.
That's right.
Also back with us, the guru of Democratic consultants, whose clients include politicians, cities, unions. Greg Bowens is ready to rip. And so is the newest addition to the panel, Thayrone X. He's a passionate conservative known for challenging Democrats and Republicans who, in his view, fail to protect the American culture. You can hear him weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. on Wham, 1600 a.m. Plus, you can see her every weeknight co-anchoring The Edge right here on Fox 2. Taryn Asher is ready. And that's not all. We've got Charlie Langton and Charlie LaDuff live in the spin room downtown for some post-debate interviews. Plus, a little later, Congresswoman Debbie Dingell, pollster Steve Mitchell, and the Dean of Michigan Political Reporters, Tim Skubik, will join us for their take. All right. Whoa, what a show. Well, you know, the fireworks actually started before tonight's debate as the 2012 Republican nominee got into it. But first of all, let's go to this. Your impressions of what you saw on the stage tonight. Jeffrey.
Well, I've seen all the debates. It's like it's degenerated into a drunken frat talent show, including the audience. If Americans can watch this spectacle now, and I guess maybe this is the 8th, 9th debate, and say that these are the people who you want leading the greatest country in the free world, then we have really degenerated into fools. Because what I heard today, all we have to do is listen to their answers about Detroit, which were this side of idiocy. They didn't know anything about Flint. They know nothing about Detroit, and they knew nothing about the Detroit public school system. In fact, they said totally phony things. And I'm sitting there listening, and these people are and nobody know. Maybe the audience doesn't know they know nothing, and certainly the country doesn't know they know nothing. But we here in Michigan know they know nothing.
Rocky, you're shaking your head in agreement.
Yeah, at first I was starting to agree with Jeffrey, and I think we were entering into the twilight zone.
Oh yeah,
I couldn't believe I was just starting to agree with you.
Tell me which candidate went to Flint. Which Republican went to Flint?
It doesn't matter about which candidate went to Flint.
What did you think of the debate?
Right now, I just got back from the debate. I drove here from the debate, and I got to tell you, I agree with Jeffrey's initial comments.
You mean about the drunken frat party?
That both the Democrat and Republican debates are a joke. It's a farce. They're regurgitating the same questions, same answers, and we're not really getting the meat and potatoes. And when we were entering, what I found most disgusting was the protests and people that were just throwing things and protesting and shouting as you walked in. And these were obviously Democratic organized protests.
Well, then you must have listened to what was being said on the stage when they're talking about who was in the bathroom with Donald Trump to deciding whether his hands matched the rest part of his body.
I think that's a joke. And one of the
he wasn't joking.
Jeffrey, hold on one second. One of the interesting things is at least we hold our debates during the week when people are watching them, as opposed to weekends.
No,
nobody watches.
Well, you're absolutely smart, and they know they're making money. Those debates are making those networks money.
Well,
shocking.
Frankly, we have more views than ever before. Greg, what did you think?
You know, these people give me a headache. You know, they're shouting and they're screaming. They're calling, "You're a liar! No, you're a liar! No, you're a liar! No, you're a liar!" And you never really get down to the meat of the issues. You had a couple questions involving the economy, and it's just it's sad. It's sad to watch these folks not acting like adults and having a civilized, decent conversation about our economy, about our country.
But they want to win, Thayrone, and maybe that's why they're acting that way.
Well, first of all, you do not have to put on a pair of pantyhose to identify with Bruce Jenner. You don't have to go to Flint to figure out what's going on in Flint or Detroit. Ted Cruz nailed it.
Wow.
The Democrat Party has screwed up Detroit and Flint like Chinese music.
Are you kidding me?
Wait a minute.
Ted Cruz said that Detroit is the way it is because of 50 years of left-wing policies.
It's
this
true.
state
It's
has
true.
been run by
It's true.
Republicans.
They would never have an EM if that didn't happen.
Okay, all right.
Stop it.
Thayrone, finish your comment.
I was going to say, the Democrat Party, hijacked by the Communist Party, has screwed up Detroit and Flint. Like, it's almost unsalvageable.
The communists.
That's
now.
right,
Socialist
Jack,
Democrats.
with guaranteed benefit pensions, so that we can't fund them. We'll never be able to make that financial nut by doing sweetheart deals with unions, such that nothing is tied to the free market, where anybody gets to bid things out competitively. And now that's why we're in the financial black hole we're in.
But all Republicans have a bigger problem, and that is that Donald Trump is leading. He's leading big nationally. He is leading big in Michigan.
The only reason
you're not a
they're
Republican, so
upset,
please don't answer the
the
question.
only reason they're upset about Donald Trump, because he says virtually the same
No,
things
that's absolutely not
as
true.
they do, is that he's not controlled by any of them.
Not true.
They should all be wearing these NASCAR jackets to see who's bought them. Like, let's see who bought.
Just like Hillary Clinton
Let's
and
see
Bernie
who
Sanders.
bought Marco, and let's see who bought Ted. The only one who's not bought up there, and I'm telling you, that's the reason he's ahead, because he doesn't say anything that different. He says all the other nonsense.
That's not why he's ahead.
Meanwhile, today, though, we saw
It isn't just that.
former presidential candidate Mitt Romney get up before a microphone and try to take Trump down. This is what he said.
This is an individual who mocked a disabled reporter, who attributed a reporter's questions to her menstrual cycle, who mocked a brilliant rival who happened to be a woman due to her appearance, who bragged about his marital affairs, and who laces his public speeches with vulgarity. Let me put it very plainly. If we Republicans choose Donald Trump as our nominee, the prospects for a safe and prosperous future are greatly diminished. His bankruptcies have crushed small businesses and the men and women who work for them. He inherited his business. He didn't create it. And whatever happened to Trump Airlines? How about Trump University? And then there's Trump Magazine, and Trump Vodka, and Trump Steaks, and Trump Mortgage. A business genius he is not.
And of course,
Total hypocrite.
Didn't take long.
Wait.
Take long though for Trump to respond. Listen to this.
Mitt is a failed candidate. He failed. He failed horribly. I backed Mitt Romney. I backed him. You can see how loyal he is. He was begging for my endorsement. I could have said, Mitt, drop to your knees. He would have dropped to his knees. He was begging. Ultimately, Mitt chickened out. And now he's saying, probably sees Hillary's very weak. And now he said, oh, I wish I went. I wish I tried it. But ultimately he didn't, because he would have gotten beaten very badly.
Play what Trump
hold on one second. Hold on.
Mitt said about Trump 4 years ago.
You see this huge anti-Trump movement starting since Super Tuesday. Did no one expect that he was going to move forward? Did they not take it?
It's not sticking. It's not sticking with anybody, because he resonates with the guy with dirt under his fingernails. The muffler mechanic loves this billionaire Donald Trump.
Mitt Romney coming out today and Republican leaders speaking out and all these super PACs trying to form to stop Trump, is that having the reverse effect now, though?
Absolutely. I think you just hit the nail on the head. And the fact is, I was talking with a few individuals before we went into the debate, and they were all saying that the fact that Mitt Romney came out against Trump is going to hurt Mitt Romney's image and going to bolster Trump.
You hear
Mitt
Romney say
the same way that
his bankruptcies hurt people. Then why did the Republicans put Detroit into bankruptcy and say it was the greatest thing?
Then why did Obama put the big three into?
Are you kidding?
Focus. This is not a court.
Snyder put Detroit into bankruptcy.
Just like Obama put the big three in bankruptcy.
You must be from some other planet. just as good as Trump.
You know what? I thought I turned the ridiculousness off, and then I get on the stage and I get it right here with you that won't let somebody finish a sentence, and you that keep jumping in when folks are trying to make a comment.
Snyder put Detroit. Snyder appointed an emergency manager, put Detroit into bankruptcy. Said that's a great thing. That's a great thing.
You're acting like the guys on stage. Hold on.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, one at a time. Okay.
Well, I didn't
Let's
tell him
go
he's
right
got small
now,
hands.
live to the spin room. We've got an interview now with Ronald Romney McDaniel.
Hi. Ken, we've got the chair of the party right here. Go. Okay, go. Okay, good. What's the deal? Your uncle, this is your uncle saying those kind of comments. Doesn't that hurt the party?
You can imagine, Charlie, I come from a family with a lot of political opinions. I have an aunt in Pinckney for Trump. I have an uncle in Bloomfield for Rubio. My son's for Cruz. My daughter's for Kasich. I'm the chair of the party. I'm Switzerland. I'm neutral. We're going to bring them all together around our nominee.
But isn't the point, though, to have somebody unite the party? And what your uncle did, Mitt Romney, kind of divided the party.
Everyone's passionate. Everyone's concerned for our country. We know we need a Republican in the White House. Of course, they're engaged. They're enthusiastic. They're energetic. We're going to come around behind our nominee, but right now the process is still going and people are very, very engaged in who the nominee should be.
If Trump is the nominee, do you think that Mitt Romney and others will support Trump?
I expect everyone to support our nominee. We cannot afford a third term of Barack Obama in the White House, which is what Hillary Clinton will be for this country. It will hurt our economy, it will hurt our national security, and more importantly, it will hurt the everyday working families, especially here in Michigan.
Did this debate degenerate today? Wasn't it kind of a food fight?
They are fighting for the nomination of our party. They are talking about issues. They are engaged. They are passionate. They're going to go after each other. It's good. We're having a dialogue. We're having a good discussion. In the end, we're going to come out stronger, and we're going to support our nominee.
All right, Rhoda, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Back to you guys.
Good.
Yeah. Charlie, thank you. So that's the question to you. Are you going to support Donald Trump when and if he wins the nomination?
I will support Donald Trump absolutely if he wins the nomination. And if they do a brokered convention to get him out, that will disenfranchise all of this vote that he's getting. And the people at that point should say, screw it. And if Trump did a third party, I'd say Ted Cruz should have the fortitude to say, I'm going with Donald Trump because the people were disenfranchised at a brokered convention.
Tyrone, the only way that they can do a brokered convention, the only way is by either changing the rules, which is not going to happen, or by Trump not getting the 1,270-some votes that he's going to get.
No, he's not going to. And I'm going to vote for Trump in the primary.
You're going to declare yourself as a Republican?
You're going to vote for Trump because
you don't even know voting. You don't have to declare yourself.
No, I know you don't have to declare yourself.
Do it.
That's true. But no, I realize that.
But you are lifelong Democrat.
I want to vote for Bernie.
You would vote for Trump because
I know what happens when you're not the chosen one and you go into the primary and you win and you see what the party establishment does to you. I know exactly what happened because I did exactly what Trump is doing to the Democratic Party, and what they did is they rolled up their tents and they walked away, and I guarantee you there's a position now they will not Mitt Romney won't be able to say, well, gee, I think the fraud will be the best president. Right. After saying he's a fraud, he's not going to be able to come back. The party
we got an interview right now with perhaps the only adult on stage tonight, Governor John Kasich. Charlie Langton, what do you have?
On the debates is that I always feel like they don't see what...
Hugh, I've got Governor Kasich right in front of me here. Let's listen in right now. Governor?
And, this was a case where I think I was able to show a little bit more of who I am, and that's been the thing that's been the challenge for me. And, you know, to show competence, experience, both domestically and internationally, I think it was really, really good.
You were clearly trying to be the adult in the room.
Yeah.
But given where you are and where the the delegates are after all of these contests, do you think Republican voters are looking for an adult at this point?
No, I do, and I'm going to win Ohio, and when I win Ohio, it's a whole new ball game. You know, winning Ohio means I'm now on home turf. I mean, I've been playing places where people completely counted me out, and we did all right on Super Tuesday. And, you know, I think we'll do fine here, and then we get to go to Ohio, and then we get to do some other states, Pennsylvania, Illinois. These are places where we feel very, very good about our chances, and every day I get a little bit better known, and I think it's working. I mean, our crowds are good.
Governor, the moderators played a clip clip of an ad that your campaign or supporters are running, which really hits Donald Trump, but you said that you weren't going to bite.
Oh, I don't even know who's running. I don't know if it's my super PAC. I don't know if it's I don't know what that is, but it gave me a chance to talk about foreign policy, and I don't think you beat Donald Trump by trying to tear him down. You need to present a bigger vision than what he talks about.
Governor,
I'd switch. Excuse me for a second, please.
Yeah, here's Donald Trump now. He's speaking to the Fox News Network, about a minute over here from us. But he's saying he thought it went well tonight. I don't know what the rest of the viewers thought, but I'm going to ask him if he thought the party tried to beat his brains in today, and if he's still standing, if you think he lost any ground. That's the question tonight. It was Trump. Very, very low on specifics. But I do know about Trump University. I know about Trump hotels. I know about Trump T-shirts. I know about Trump and his off-the-record conversations with the New York Times. But we didn't hear much on specifics. That's the way it's getting at this point.
Well, of course, we hope to have a one-on-one with Trump at some point. But that is the big question. That is the big gorilla in the room. There's no question that he has dominated the race for the White House for the Republican Party.
But for one reason.
Because
nobody owns him.
It's because of the frustration with Washington.
And he gets Democrats and Republicans to vote for him.
All right, one at a time. Stay with us and stay with us. We are just getting started. Much more ahead on this special edition of Let It Rip.
Detroit is a great city with a magnificent legacy that has been utterly decimated by 60 years of failed left-wing policies. You know, Henry Ford revolutionized automobile manufacturing and brought automobiles to the middle class. During World War II, Detroit funded the arsenals of democracy to help us win World War II. In the 1960s, Detroit was the Silicon Valley of America. It had a population of 2 million people, had the highest per capita income in the country. And then for 50 years, left-wing Democrats have pursued destructive tax policies, weak crime policies, and have driven the citizens out.
If you think Democrats drove...
Ted Cruz saying that Democrats are behind it.
Wait, Democrats drove people out of Detroit. This guy is he is weirder than I even thought he was. If anybody within sound of my voice believes that Democrats drove the white people and manufacturing out of the city of Detroit, they are out of their minds.
Racism did.
Well, I'll tell you.
Democrat racism. Democrat fueled racism.
No, there is racism. You start in '68, and then a fueled non-policy of allowing the suburbs to build up mindlessly and drain everyone out of Detroit.
That's a debate that's in Detroit, taking place in Detroit. Yet, it did not cater to any issues that affect Detroiters. The candidates seemed out of touch. They were not aware of the improvements that were in Detroit, and they didn't seem to really
on a national
what would be done?
Why did all the Democrats go to Flint and not one single Republican candidate has gone to Flint? Why? And they don't.
I'll tell you why. Because there's no votes in Flint.
No, because there's
this is not a national issue right now.
Oh, yes, it is.
It's in Congress right now. When one of these guys issue.
Have you read the New York Times?
Let me answer the question.
Wait a second. Have you read the New York Times?
Your plaintiffs or your defense?
Have you read the New York Times?
Are you going to let me finish? When one of these guys become president and they own the issue, then they'll go to Flint. Right now, they're running for president of the United States. All the states. Right now, they're fighting to win those delegates in Michigan, Mississippi, Hawaii, and one other state.
All right, Greg. Let me hear from Greg.
Right. Yeah, no, of course they didn't go to Flint. They didn't go to Flint because they would embarrass the governor. And it was the failed policies of the Republicans that...
Again. Partisan Republicans.
No. If you're going to blame the Democrats for the decline of Detroit, then he can blame...
Because I can point to the decline.
You can point to what happened in Flint.
Look, it was the austerity policies of this governor that made them switch against Detroit.
They did the austerity because why? The city was what?
These candidates want to get rid of the EPA.
They want
to get rid of the EPA.
No name calling, no name.
They want to get rid of the EPA. The guys on those stage said, get rid of the EPA. Let's poison every river. Every river. Forget about the Flint River. Let's poison every river. And we'll go after the lakes, too. Let's poison Lake Huron and Lake Michigan.
Well, let's talk about some of the policies we heard.
Let's get rid of the EPA.
We talked about somebody getting rid of the EPA, getting rid of the Education Department, getting rid of the IRS.
That's right. And we'll privatize all schools. And we'll make them all profit motive. And we'll really help the Detroit schools by making them. We'll end public education
right now.
Yeah, we'll end public education.
We were talking about this a little bit on the break as well, though. We do have to focus. A lot of people calling out Trump today, not calling him a real Republican, and asking about a lot of the issues.
You mean he's not prejudiced enough?
But the truth is,
That'd be a Democrat.
He is being characterized as a new type of Republican.
Yeah, exactly.
And the truth is that more people, are following Trump that are Republicans. When Mitt Romney came out and spoke today, those people who follow Trump right now are not going to change their minds.
Those people on the stage today stood there and said they were proud to be against gay marriage. They were proud of that. That's not true.
Here's what's going on. We're talking about this on the break. That you're seeing right now a coalescence of a Democrat-Republican bond around Trump. It's transcending Republican-Democrat politics. I like it. I like what Trump's doing on that with respect to that. He's bringing about already pretty much a third party. A lot of Democrats are going to vote for Donald Trump.
I agree with Thayrone. I agree with Thayrone on the fact that there's a lot of Democrats that are crossing over that will support Trump.
Absolutely.
The problem is Trump's background. And when you call him a new Republican, I'm not sure you can call him a new Republican. The Republican, if he becomes the standard bearer, we're going to support him against Hillary Clinton, who may be indicted hopefully by that time. But what is very interesting to look at is this is not the type of Republican. You're not a Republican if you're going to support Harry Reid and Nancy Pelosi and write checks to Jimmy Carter.
Then, this is
well,
now.
The Republicans.
I hope so.
Yeah, these are real uniters. So they're not going to let President Obama nominate a Supreme Court justice because they're trying to unite the country.
You know what? Let's tell the truth. Part of Trump's appeal is that he is actually revitalizing the white nationalist movement.
That's right.
Oh, come on.
No, there's no come on anything about it.
Come on.
There's no come on anything about it.
KKK again.
Argument.
Greg, to be fair,
you should be offended by what he's doing instead of being offended about
what he's doing.
Defending racist.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Tonight, he was asked point blank what he thought about the endorsement of the KKK and former leader David Duke. This is what Trump said about that.
And white supremacists.
I totally disavow the Ku Klux Klan. I totally disavow David Duke. I've been doing it now for 2 weeks. You're probably about the 18th person that's asked me the question. It was very clear. That question was also talked about in the form of groups. I want to know, which groups are you talking about? You have to tell me which groups. Ultimately, he got to the Ku Klux Klan, which obviously I'm going to disavow. And by the way, if you look on my Twitter account, almost immediately after the program, they were disavowed again. You know, it's amazing. When I do something on Twitter, everybody picks it up, goes all over the place. But when I did this one, nobody ever picks it up. Take a look at my Twitter account.
Rocky, this is a man that just a few months ago said that Mexican immigrants, illegal immigrants, didn't deserve to be here. Maybe that we should have a temporary ban on Muslims, but now he is saying tonight, at least he doesn't like the KKK.
He said illegal.
No, he said, and he's tweeted about it, put it on his Facebook, but I will make a very bold statement tonight, and especially to Greg. I will bet that if Donald Trump is our nominee, that he will surpass the 10% threshold that most Republicans get in the city of Detroit.
They don't get 10%. They
get less.
Remember, Donald Trump is the guy who got on the national political scene by saying that Barack Obama was an American citizen, that he's a Muslim, and that he's born in Kenya. How embarrassing. I mean, give me a break. If that wasn't a...
Wait a minute, he's done that to Ted Cruz as well.
Yes,
he's done that to Ted Cruz too.
So he's an equal opportunity attacker.
He's not going to get the black vote. He's not going to get the Hispanic vote. He's not going to get the women vote.
We've got an interview right now. We've got an interview right now with Donald Trump. Let's go.
Party tried to beat your brains out today. How you feeling? The party.
Hey, my man.
How you doing? How you doing? How do you think everything went?
I thought it was great. I enjoyed it. It was a great evening. It was an evening that I thought actually was going to be a little bit more violent. It wasn't as violent as I thought, but I really enjoyed it.
How do you think Megyn was with you?
I thought she was great. I thought she did a very good job. I had no complaints.
And let's just talk about the hands, Mr. Trump.
Well, look at these hands. These are the hands that hit a golf ball 285.
Look, let me see. Look. Yeah,
let me see your hands.
Look.
See? Hands are bigger than... Well, see, this is the problem with politicians. They're all talk. They give you stuff, and people would... No, I have good-sized hands, and they say very beautiful hands.
And I got to ask you, have you started thinking about a VP candidate?
I don't want to do it now, AJ. I mean, if you look at what we're going through, I just want to get the prize, and after the prize, because I want to make this country great again. We're going to make America great again. That's the whole theme of what I'm doing. And I want to win first, and I have plenty of time. There are a lot of good people around.
And lastly, the Oscars. Did you see him? What did you think about Chris and the Oscars?
I did. I was disappointed that Sylvester Stallone didn't get something. He's a great guy and a friend of mine. I thought he was going to win, actually, but I thought they were good, and they were certainly different.
And I've seen that Melania's been doing more interviews. We're going to see more of her. Where is she? She wasn't around here.
Someplace, huh? She's around here, so she's done really well.
Sir, how are we going to get...
Tonight, do you think they were getting up on you?
No, I thought it was fair. No, I thought it was fair.
Thought it was fair?
By so much, they have no choice. I'm leading by so much that they really have no choice, but I thought it was very fair. I thought it was good.
Mr. Trump, but the party's lining up against you. You got enough in the tank?
We're going to beat her easily, yeah. I mean, the polls are showing that I beat her.
Mr. Trump, are you satisfied you unified the party now that everybody's agreed to back you?
We see Donald Trump essentially ignoring the true journalists and going straight to extra, but he knows what he's doing.
Star.
So far, the reality star is leading in every poll. Stay with us. Much more ahead. We'll be right back.
They had to pay even more money, and so they did. And you know what they got in these courses? Stuff you can pull off of Zillow. When they finally realized what a scam it was, they asked for their money back, and you refused to give them their money back.
I gave many people their money back.
Then why don't you tonight say you're going to give them money back?
Let me just see.
Okay, Senator Rubio, let him answer.
Why doesn't he make that pledge right now?
Let him answer. Go ahead, Mr. Trump.
We will see who's right at the end of a few years. But all of the people, almost all of the people, many, many people signed what's called a report card at the end. Did you like the course? How did you like it? Almost all of them said it was terrific, okay? With letters, with this. Some of them are on tape saying it was terrific.
That's Donald Trump defending his Trump University, which is facing several lawsuits for being a sham school. One of many lines of attack on the frontrunner tonight. Welcome back to Let It Rip. On the panel right now, she's a first-term congresswoman, but a long-time Democratic powerhouse. Debbie Dingell is back. Next to her, a rare breed, young, black, and conservative. He calls himself a hip-hop Republican. We call him Brandon Bryce. And then there's the award-winning Fox 2 reporter, the longest-serving member of the state's political press corps, and the host of public TV's Off the Record, Tim Skubic, is here. And so is the best numbers man in the business. If you want to know who's leading, why they're leading, and what it all means, you bring in the poster, Steve Mitchell. And of course, you all know Thayrone, so let's get to ripping right now. You heard Donald